We know that Vice President Kamala Harris has been endorsed by Joe Biden. He released his statement endorsing her after saying that he would not seek the nomination. And she released this statement: I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party, unite our nation, to defeat Donald Trump and his extreme Project 2025 agenda. If you're with me, add a donation right now. Tempting, and many people actually indulge. $50 million was raised in less than 24 hours after Kamala Harris announced, and obviously Joe Biden endorsed her. She's received many other endorsements. Some big names include Bill and Hillary Clinton, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Representative Ilhan Omar, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Cori Bush, Representative Pramila Jayapal, Rep. Jim Clyburn, Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Andy Beshear, Pete Buttigieg, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. That's an interesting smattering there. And perhaps for me, particularly interesting is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She also tweeted this: Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States. I pledge my full support to ensure her victory in November. Now more than ever, it's crucial that our party and country swiftly unite to defeat Donald Trump and the threat to American democracy. Let's get to work. There are people who haven't endorsed her yet. Barack Obama hasn't. Nancy Pelosi just endorsed. So this is an old graphic because she just endorsed. Hakeem Jeffries has not yet. Chuck Schumer hasn't yet, and Gretchen Whitmer hasn't yet. But it is interesting, Jordan, because we were, a few days ago discussing the backroom machinations based on AOC's live stream, where she was, saying that some people want to wipe the entire slate clean, no Vice President Kamala Harris. And she was also saying maybe Joe Biden shouldn't drop out. And now that he has and endorsed Kamala Harris, AOC is like, nope, I'm in line. Let's go to battle. What do you make of all that?
Well, so I think the person who hasn't endorsed that's getting the most attention is Obama. But I interviewed Dave Weigel last night of Semaphore on my podcast, and asked him, brought that up. He pointed out that is just how Obama operates. And even though we all know he is an influential player and he was the deciding factor in 2020, that's now open. They've admitted that in conversations about Biden stepping aside. Obama will step in moments like that. He does kind of have his finger on the scale, but he's trying to get away from that dynamic. He doesn't want that to be people's impression of him. He's going to support Harris. Like, I don't think there's anything worth reading into about the people who haven't yet. Like you said, Pelosi just endorsed. We're going to see Schumer. We're going to see Jeffries. People really need to take a step back and think, do you think they're not going to do that after everybody else has? After full slates of delegates in these states have already thrown their support behind her. She's going to be the nominee. She's going to get that war chest that we talked about on Friday that it was so contentious in that conversation. And on top of that, she's going to get even more money. It's a good opportunity for them to move forward, keep that campaign staff in place, and build that war chest quickly after we just saw FEC reports 2 days ago showing that Biden was losing his cash advantage on Trump.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that she can fundraise that much that quickly. I mean, it also sort of gives some indicator that there might not be an appetite for basically a rushed primary at the DNC, some sort of open primary at the convention. The convention is an open convention by definition. The delegates are no longer, just because the delegates that had pledged to Biden, they don't automatically transfer to Vice President Harris. Biden cannot do that. He can only endorse Kamala Harris, and then the delegates can vote as they wish. And just speaking in California, I know that the leader of the Democratic Party here is trying to whip the votes and the delegates from California to voting for Vice President Harris. I mean, that'd be wild if they did it. Obviously she comes from California, et cetera. But that is sort of going on state by state. And again, we will see. But it seems like these endorsements show that while the convention will be, delegates can vote as they want, there might not be hey, let's do lightning round primary and see who comes out on top in August. And there's also talk of, obviously, who her running mate would be. She's got to name a running mate in the next couple weeks. Some picks, this is according to Axios, Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina, Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Mark Kelly of Arizona, Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. These are a bunch of governors, obviously. J.B. Pritzker of Illinois and Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky. Just a little bit more about them. Roy Cooper won in 2016, 2020, even though President Trump won North Carolina. Mark Kelly had 2 elections in that swing state of Arizona, even though Trump is up. And Beshear also is massively popular in deep red Kentucky. So that's really interesting context, Jordan. I mean, and even, Whitmer would be an excellent choice given, the importance of Michigan and some of the bad polling for Biden out of Michigan. Yeah, but what do you think of this? Like, obviously, they're mostly white people. I mean, there's always we have to, Biden our Obama, right? We've got a safe white person, our woman of color. So that's just sort of on the identity politics. But yeah, what do you make? Do you have any strong opinions about these potential vice president picks?
I do, but let's talk about the dynamics first. It's just about ticket balancing. You're trying to appeal to as many people as possible. That's just politics, and you're seeing the freak out now from Trump because they didn't do that. They didn't pair Trump with a moderate. They picked an acolyte or an aspiring acolyte. He would have been a contrast a couple of years ago with what Vance was saying about Trump. But you pick 2 MAGA guys and you alienate a lot of independents. The Democrats have an opportunity now to craft a balanced ticket like they did with Obama and Biden, like they did with Biden and Harris. So that's why you're seeing a bunch of white candidates, just the world we live in. If I had to pick one, I would probably pick Josh Shapiro, not because he's perfect. And I think there are some troubling aspects of his resume, but with Pennsylvania being such a key state and Trump seemingly performing well there, I am a little bit worried about even before the switch and after, I was worried about the Democratic Party's ability to pick up Pennsylvania. Shapiro has shown he can win statewide. He's done it multiple times in different roles. He's popular. And again, he's a really skilled orator. He was a attorney general in Pennsylvania before he was governor. Really smart guy. I think he could just demolish Vance in a debate. He would be my pick. I do think they might go with Cooper because North Carolina would be a pickup. He's term limited anyway. And he's the only one out of that slate where they don't actually lose anybody in a role. Because Beshear, you're never gonna get it. I wouldn't say never, but it's unlikely you're going to reelect a Democratic governor in Kentucky. You're also not going to win Kentucky. So there's no chance of a pickup by putting him on the ticket. Kelly, you don't know where that state's gonna go. It's getting crazier and crazier. So my pick would be Shapiro.
That makes sense. No, I love that deduction. I'm gonna go with on nothing just because I want an all-female ticket to beat Donald Trump. Just bury this man metaphorically, psychos. But Gretchen Whitmer, let's go. Let's beat Donald Trump with an all-female ticket. Just come on, that'd be so good.
Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.